Hello to all of the viewers watching, and finally feels very good to have the OBS audio set up, done and well. And today we'll actually go through a very interesting project that we as a team have created in Eye of Liberty Security. This is something that there was a problem I needed to solve as the lead developer, and not a single software out there, out of the free and easily affordable options, could do the same thing. So I decided to make one myself, and basically, I don't regret it. It's a wonderful piece of software, time certainly well spent, and now serves a wonderful business need in sending emails that are both personalized and actually still work. So not bloatware that's you have to log into a website to open some interface, wait 10 seconds for everything to load, wait another 10 seconds after pressing a button, and everything works straight off the bat. So what is this basically? This is Liberty Mail, which is on our GitHub, which you can see in the URL over here, github.com/eyeofliberty/liberty-mail. And basically, this is a minimalist email client with automation support. Basically, with a normal email that you write from your Gmail account, Hotmail account, or your own custom hosting, whatever you use. Of course, you don't have variables in it. So you have your contacts, you input the to field, you write out your message, and you click send. There's no to customize the message. You have to copy it, open a new tab, paste it, and effectively try to generate an email completely from scratch. Here, no, well, not completely from scratch, but what I mean is that you'll have to manually change the person's name, the company name you're sending to, the person's role, whether it's director, a sales director, a CEO, CTO, whatever. Everything has to be done manually, and it takes a lot of time. Now, one of the most popular ways of getting your business out to the world and getting companies to use your kind of software is through cold emailing. Now, there's various resources you can use to actually get the contacts. This I won't cover in this section, but what we used at the Eye of Liberty Security was a wonderful Russian tool called Contour, and also an international tool called Apollo.io. But the problem was, and in fact, Apollo did have their own inbuilt email client, but A, it was very expensive and they charged per credit to send each message, and two, it was bloatware. Everything loaded for ages, and of course, they had lots of cool features, like even finding the contacts in the first place, the different AI workflows that you can customize and do whatever you want, schedule follow-ups and etc. But I feel like that's only relevant for huge teams. If you've got multi-million dollar businesses and you have your own sales team, you have your own customer support team, here this isn't that much of an issue. And of course, we all want things to be done quickly and exactly what we need. A minimalist, sleek approach to software. Now, so I decided to make it. And what this looks like, basically, of course, now it's on GitHub, and you can go and clone the repository if you want to use this. But let's take a look at what this email client is and what it does. Again, very soon on stream, I'll be actually modifying the README. This is just the very basics. Of course, I'll add a short but simple user guide on it as well on stream, so you can follow along as well. So tune into that, by the way, if you have the chance. Twitch.tv/Eye of Liberty. This is 100% me. So how many subs are we on? I think we're on 10 followers right now. Yeah, it doesn't show right here. Let's wait for it. 11 followers actually. Yeah, very nice. but of course, would be more than happy
Okay,
for you
switch
to join.
console.
Okay, now let's got distracted for a little bit. Let's dive into the actual software. So once you've cloned it with GitHub, you can, first of all, one key thing, open up main.py. Now, to make it as simple as possible, I just have one Python file for everything. I know this might not be the best business practice or whatever, but in this case, I'd argue it is for sure, because it keeps everything simple. You don't have to manage different files, and everything's all in one place. So a key difference is, for now, temporarily, since this is an early release, of course, the font size, not everything is perfect. And the fonts, for example, you might need to configure this manually. Now, the version on GitHub, I actually have the Noto Sans font attached, so you can use that. But by default, it uses the Microsoft Calibri font. So again, if you're not on Windows, like I am here on Kali Linux, you just have to add this font path. I am exploring options to make just have like a certain font and unload it for default. But basically, if I didn't specify this, a lot of characters would be shown incorrectly, and we wouldn't have something like Cyrillic or Greek support, which is a big thing for international users. So basically, I won't go through all of the code. You can probably tell it was vibe coded in a large part of it. Now, some things, of course, I looked through and fixed myself, but honestly, without AI, I would have done it a bit slower. And what's funny is as well, I've got 1,234 lines of code, and this file is 56 kilobytes as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is pretty cool. But let's go and look what the program actually does. So load it up, and this is one window, a very like small, simple window that loads instantly. Remember, we didn't have to wait 15 seconds for everything to load. So good. And you've got your subject line, your body, and that's pretty much it. So, okay, by default, you start to see these things called variables. Now, this is something that's basically not shown in the actual email that you send, but something that you can code in and modify per each contact you send to. So, for example, wonderful opportunity for company name on the cyber security, let's say for cyber security compliance. Let's say I was in 2026. Let's say I was cold emailing with this marketing strategy. Of course, it would be probably a bit more detailed, and we do have now the opportunity to make it much more personalized, but something like this. So you want to send an email to 500 different companies, but still include their company name in the title to not make it seem like spam. You'd want to avoid the spam filters and avoid people just not being able to see your email because it would be classified by Gmail, Outlook, or whatever as junk. So we personalize it basically. And even in the body, we call the person by their name. You're impressed by their work at company name. And we can even say like as a title at company name, and would love to explore potential collaboration opportunities. Would you be available for a brief call next week? So just a basic email, but we have to, of course, have some sort of contact list to be able to work with them. Now here, for test purposes, I've actually still got a generate sample CSV feature. This is, you can see, the only tool we have now. Later on, we can possibly add spell check, which can be very nice. and maybe some other tools if any of you have any ideas. So we generated our CSV file. Let's upload the file over here. And ignore the debug messages, they're not that relevant, but you can see actually some things behind the scenes. So I basically have support both for comma-based and colon-based CSV files. Now CSV is just another file type which you can use to which is commonly used for getting contacts and other large pieces of data. So it looks basically like this. It's just a text file with the first line being the titles, the column names, and the rest being the data. Of course, here I've got just 5 people, but more, which aren't real companies, by the way, just in case anyone was asking. Of course, in reality, you'll have tens, if not hundreds or thousands. So going back to our client, we have imported our CSV contacts, and let's view what we have uploaded. So here we've got another window which we can expand, or actually if there's many things, you should be able to scroll from the thing. Wait, because this thing is sometimes still glitchy, but basically I can make this window smaller and scroll if you want to as well, because in some data sets you'll have like over 100 different entries, like company address, company alternative address, company social security number, and not social security, I mean company like insurance details and whatnot. So you'll have lots of things to be doing. We have our sent log here actually, which will fill up as we send the emails, but basically, yeah, once we do have this, we have got our contacts. We can see there, like the heading in the first line. And this is exactly what we can use later on as our variables. So click the preview email, and this is the exact email we have for our first message. So you can see John was passed correctly, Tech Corp was passed correctly, title wasn't, because title turned out to not be something over here. We can see it's called position. So changing it for position, for example, preview email, and there we go. Oh, oops, I've changed the wrong thing. Let's Control Z. Oh, we can't Control Z over here yet. Okay, but we can correct things here. Company name as, instead of title, as position. And yeah, hopefully the viewers appreciate this kind of live commentary from a dev. I didn't want to meticulously handcraft every second of this video, so we've got a general plan, but I'm just testing things as they go. So yeah, as you can see, I've got the CO title now, and it's been passed perfectly correctly. Now, the big downside is when you go to view the uploaded contacts, you can't actually change them here inside of this thing, because it turned out to be not too easy to have everything changed inside of the table, like having a mini Excel, and then save it to the CSV file, save it in here. So for now, if you do want to change something, you can go and edit the sample contacts with something like, with any of your text editor of choice. So you can go and give him eyeofliberty.com and call his company Liberty Security. There we go. Something like this. Now, if we view the uploaded contacts again, they won't be saved because they are uploaded into a dictionary, I believe, in this file. But of course, we can upload CSV contacts, upload them again, and you can see it even removes duplicates when we have them. So preview email, everything works. uploaded contacts, and yeah, we've added a new John Smith from the Eye of Liberty. Now, to completely clear things out, you can either just restart the program, or there should be the button right over here called Clear CSV Contacts, and you clear everything. Plus, a quite interesting feature right over here, we have another sample with 2 different YouTubers, for example. Let's say you're an advertiser and you're marketing your software or your products in general, 2 different YouTubers that you might like. Enter some details over here. But then you also have another data set which is slightly different. It doesn't have everything, but it's got some things like the names, the emails. So you can upload the contacts, upload another file, and now we've got another window that pops up which says that there's a column mismatch. What do you want to do? Again, before I actually, going back a bit, I thought about publishing this client as a completely minimalist product, so without even features like this. But in the end, I decided, no, if we're going to use this ourselves for marketing and for other cool purposes, I'd definitely want a feature like this where I can find and replace contacts, because I've got data from different sources. And now, for example, you can say instead replace, keep, or cancel. Let's keep matching columns. Open the uploaded contacts, and there we go. Now we've got 2 plus 5, which is 7. And we can still do name, surname, email, like add something like here. Preview email. Hey, Ivan Liberty. Everything's done wonderfully. Now, of course, there are some general settings which you'll have to fill out before to actually get this thing to load. And first thing is your server SMTP config, which depending on your hosting provider will be slightly different. Now, I use Baguette.com, which is a fantastic provider. I've jumped across a number of different ones before, but this one turned out to be perfect for my needs. And they provide their SMTP details on their website. Depending on which hosting provider you use, it will be usually on their website as well. If not, you can always email customer support and ask them what it is. Now again, what port they're on, your email, and your password. Now as well, you can use TLS and SSL for encrypted messaging too, as an option. And as for the sending settings, of course, you have your name, which you can change. And this is the basic setting. Of course, programs like Apollo try to do this AI complex email warm-up thing. But here we just had a small, simple task. I know my email is warmed up. It's not brand new. It's from a reliable domain. I just want to send 100 messages. And so you've got a delay between emails to make it more reasonable. Maximum emails per batch if you want your email server to take some breaks. And not to spam like thousands at a time, which is probably a good idea. And another thing as well, which is very nice, we have different bracket styles. So basically, originally I started off with square brackets, but then realized if I'm typing on a Russian Cyrillic keyboard, the square brackets actually have to change the keyboard layout to type, and that's not very useful. So but again, this is what's used by default in some sales teams for some sort of templates. So I'd want to still keep it as an option. And of course, if you're using Cyrillic, something like double brackets or triple brackets, for those who know what this means, can be very, very nice. But again, depending on your style, depending on your vibe, you can do whatever you want. Now again, yeah, single brackets I don't advise against using because it won't properly render normal brackets. the kind of that you'd use in standard conversations. But let's put it at curly brackets, for example. Now, when we preview the name, we don't see anything. But if we change something like, hey, name, surname, let's keep it as it is for now, you can see it gets parsed now perfectly well. And if we change it back to the double brackets, again, the settings save automatically, and they're stored in a JSON file that is also part of the program, so you won't need to worry that your data is lost in any way. It's beautiful. And yep, you see basically the old curly brackets now are not parsed, but the surname is, your name is, because we've set it back to double brackets. And that's it, basically. All there is to this server. Once you like the email that you sent, you can press the button send emails, and it would send out everything to the specified contact list and output the email sent in the email log. So beautiful minimalist piece of software you can use for cold email, you can use for contacting your employees, maybe you can use for contacting your clients if you've got something like a welcome back offer, for example. Like, let's say your software was paused on development for a while, you lost a bit of subscribers because you haven't had time to input, you haven't had time for the development, but now you're back in the game, you launched an update, and you can launch a beautiful marketing campaign straight with this program, completely for free, to your audience. So I like this, and I used it and will continue to use it now for marketing of my own project, which, as you may or may not know, eyeofliberty.com is expanding to not just being a cool modern search engine, but also a larger cybersecurity company as a whole. And we've already had our first client with a commercial pen test, which was a logistics company operating in Russia. So very eager to get more international clients, domestic clients, doesn't matter. And we'll be using our email client for that as well. Now, of course, we are more than happy to have contributors on this project. This is a fantastic thing if you want your first Python pull request, if you want your real first Python open source project. This is 100% free. I promise to never make it paid. You have my word on camera to not try and lock this behind a paywall. So you can be safe, that you can be sure that the work you put into developing this file, this project, will be serving communities for ages to come. And again, some of the things that we do want to develop, or at least just some of the ideas that I have, are in the to-do right over here. But of course, if you have other suggestions, do chime in, and I'd be more than happy to discuss them as well. But other than that, that should be it. Can't wait to see you doing contributions and adding new things as well. And I'll see you in the next one. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.